Jean Carroll wants even more of that Trump money. She got $5 million for some reason, and now she wants more. Remember, Trump sat down with CNN at a town hall and had a conversation the day after the verdict was rendered, and he got asked about what he thought about the decision from the jury, and this is what Trump said.
Because what's happening is they're doing this for election interference. This woman, I don't know her. I never met her. I have no idea who she is. I had a picture taken years ago with her.
So pay close attention to that. He says, I never met her, but then I had a picture taken with her.
And her husband, nice guy, John Johnson, he was a newscaster, very nice man. She called him an ape. Happens to be African American. Called him an ape. The judge wouldn't allow us to put that in.
Very racist.
Her dog or her cat was named Vagina. The judge wouldn't allow to put that in. All of these things. But with her, they can put in anything. Access, Hollywood.
This was a jury of 9 people who found you liable of sexual abuse. Do you think that will deter women from voting for you?
No, I don't think so, because I think the whole thing... Just so you understand, ready? I never met this woman. I never saw this woman. This woman said, I met her at the front door of Bergdorf Goodman, which I rarely go into other than for a couple of charities. I met her in the front door. She was about 60 years old, and this is like 22, 23 years ago. I met her in the front door of Bergdorf Goodman. I was immediately attracted to her, and she was immediately attracted to me. And we had this great chemistry. We're walking into a crowded department store. We had this great chemistry, and a few minutes later, we end up in a room, a dressing room of Bergdorf Goodman, right near the cash register. And then she found out there were locks on the door. So she said, I found one that was open. She found one. She learned this at trial. She found one that was open. What kind of a woman meets somebody and brings them up, and within minutes you're playing hanky-panky in a dressing room, okay? I don't know if she was married then or not. John Johnson, I feel sorry for you, John Johnson.
Mr. President, can I...
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so... we listened to this the first time after we heard this, and it's a weird mismatch of tense and context, and Trump is telling stories and then telling a story from her perspective, and you can't really tell if he's talking about something that actually happened until you realize that he's talking about this hypothetical fictional story that she claims happened. It's a weird exchange, but he said some things about her. And as we were listening, we go, oh gosh, he's already got a defamation case against him. What is going to happen now? And of course, we take a look at the court docket, and what do you expect? Here it is. Look at this. All this stuff got filed. It's a lot. So here on May 22nd, the docket got 4 new additions to it. A letter to Judge Lewis Kaplan. Guess who that's from? Roberta Kapaln. That's E. Jean Carroll's a lawyer. We've got a motion to correct, along with a motion to amend, which is going to change the original complaint to add in new allegations, and as well as a memo about why this amendment should be allowed, and then a new amended complaint filed. All right. So they want to make it hurt even worse. And so let's take a look at how this all went down, and says the following to the judge. Dear Judge, we write on behalf of our client, E. Jean Carroll. As your honor is aware, there are 4 things we need to deal with here. Several different motions, and we address each of these points below. Says the Westfall Act implicates certain things, and says Trump is not entitled to immunity, and says just 4 days after the trial began, we had a 2-week trial. The jury determined that Trump had committed these crimes, or these civil infractions, battery and defamation. They awarded E. Jean Carroll $5 million in compensatory and punitive damages. Now, on their face, they're similar claims as in this case. Now, they're saying, Your Honor, we want to create an amended complaint. Why? We want to add in new allegations here concerning the verdict and Trump's public response to the verdict, the things he said at the town hall, which involved repeating on CNN the statements the Carroll jury found to be defamatory, allegations that we believe are now directly relevant to punitive damages. As outlined above, we propose the following schedule. And they send all of that in to the judge. Say we obviously disagree with both the defendant and the United States on various issues about different people intervening, signed on off by Roberta Kapaln. Now here's the actual motion to amend in support of the law. They say the parties have already begun litigating this case all the way back in November 2019. They say Trump sought to delay this at every turn. But now, E. Jean Carroll moves to amend her complaint to add relevant facts bearing on that issue, as well as comments that came about from Trump's public statements at the town hall. And I was looking for the amended damages. And so let's actually see if we can find those. This is what the amended complaint would actually look like. And we're going to see what the damages are asked for. Trump's defamatory lies did not stop in 2019. He made additional statements, October 2022, posting statements saying he didn't know her. And then in 2023, it continued. Here we go. This is the addition to the complaint. On May 9th, after a 2-week trial in the Southern District of New York, a 9-person jury found that Trump had abused Carroll and that his statement denying that assault was defamatory. $5 million and $3 million for the defamation. $2 million for the assault, $3 million for the defamation. And we made a lot of fun of this because Trump owes more money for talking badly about her than he does for assaulting her. Okay, $3 million for talking badly about her versus $2 million for just the assault, which means it's worse to talk badly about a woman, apparently, than it is to grab them by their purse. But Trump, undeterred by the jury's verdict, persisted in maliciously defaming Carroll yet again. On the very next day, on May 10th, Trump lashed out against Carroll during a televised primetime audience town hall event hosted by CNN. He doubled down on his prior defamatory statements, asserting to an audience all too ready to cheer him on that I've never met this woman. I never saw this woman. Ugh, those statements. I never saw this woman. Well, you took a picture with her. So his lawyers, literally, Roberta Kapaln's lawyers, are taking that and splicing it up. That he did not assault Carroll and that her account, which was just validated by a jury, was fake and made up story, invented by a whack job, which is true. I think she is a whack job. Those statements resulted in enthusiastic cheers and applause from the audience on live TV. And so this is a whole new additional amended complaint. Now they want compensatory damages to be $10 million. So that statement was another $5 million statement at the town hall CNN. But sometimes the truth is expensive, my friends. And if you're a billionaire like Trump, you can afford it. Got to say the truth, man, even if it costs you $5 million. Now, there was one extra spicy filing in this case that came in from this woman on May 9th, 2023. And as I was browsing around the docket, I just wanted to share this with you. I thought it was great. This woman named Margaret, okay, totally unrelated to this case, decided on her own volition to send a letter into the court to Judge Lewis Kaplan. Margaret, as we're going to learn, is an 87-year-old woman writing in from Brooklyn, New York, roughly about the same age as E. Jean Carroll. This came in after the verdict. They received it May 17th. She says, Honorable Judge Kaplan, I am writing this to you as I was once in the 90s an avid shopper in Bergdorf Goodman's Bloomingdale's, Lord & Taylor, and other high-end stores. At that time, if you went into any fitting room in any one of those stores, there was always a salesperson right outside the door, inquiring about the fit, etc. If you needed further help. I believe salespeople were working on commissions, and if they tried very hard to provide as much service as possible to get their commissions. If anyone was doing anything like E. Jean Carroll stated, that is a frivolous lie. There was also much more security in these stores at that time. And for the record, I am not a Trump advocate, but I am an 87-year-old woman, and these types of accusations are without a doubt lies and dishonest. I personally wrote this for your information, so when you listen to the fabrications from the plaintiff called E. Jean Carroll, you can have a better idea of what could and did occur in the fitting rooms in the 90s. Sincerely, Margaret. And so shout out to Margaret, letting the judge know the truth, man. It's a lot of work to sit there and type out a letter like that. And she signed it and sent it in. So cheers to Margaret for writing a heck of a letter and telling the truth to the judge. So my friends, Donald Trump now faces another $5 million potential verdict.